Hey, man.
All right.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for the one half of the greatest tag team of all time, the TNA World Tag Team Champions,
That's right. Get that
the
right.
Hardys. How are you, sir?
Hey, good, man. Good. Out here just promoting a big live Impact show that's coming out here to the Twin Cities in Minnesota.
In Minnesota, you're going to be at the Minneapolis Armory. Am I correct?
Yes, and I hear it's a really cool venue. We're going to go over there a little later and check it out, so I'm super excited, man.
Yeah, they're going to do it September 4th. There's going to be a live show, and then the taping is going to be 9/5 the next day. So if you get your tickets now, go to Ticketmaster. Get your tickets in advance. Get it right now. Get off your butt. Get it right now, and you'll be good to go for Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. And you get to see one half, and you get to see the other half of the World Tag Team Champions, the Hardys, Matt and Jeff, together, defending those titles, making the moves, the crazy stuff. I was at Slammiversary, Jeff. I do have to bring up, whose idea was it in the ladder match, the multiple team ladder match, to use the rope ladder as the ladder to win the titles?
Yeah, that was all me, man. I think I brought that up back shortly after TLC 2 happened with us, Edge and Christian and the Dudleys. I was like, man, what if we use one of those cable ladders like back in the day? Me and Matt and I were on this show called Fear Factor, and it was attached to a helicopter, and we had to climb up it and try to get into the helicopter. But
yeah,
I always thought it'd be cool to add that into a ladder match, and Tommy Dreamer, man, made it happen. I was finally able to bring the idea to life.
Because even the setup, first off, it was crazy where we had ladder damage from everyone. We just had one half of First Class, AJ Francis, on the phone a couple, maybe 2 weeks ago. We had him on where we talked about his traumatic ladder accident when he fell off the ladder and hit his crotch directly into the bars. And we were talking to him, and I mean, you would think that ladder would be something like you go, okay, these are possibly the most dangerous ladders in the business. You come out because you're, as the French would say, freaking nuts, and you decide you're set up when you do it. Like you got the guy to hit the button, boom goes the rope ladder. The rope ladder comes down. You're swinging from the rope ladder. There was so much potential injury that could have happened to you, but you made it through. You guys pulled down the titles. You became the tag champs again. What was going through your head during that match? Because you've done 9 million ladder matches. What was going through your head at that match? Slammiversary, New York, the crowd's nuts. The building was hot as hell for you guys. What's going through your head during that whole thing? Because it can't be just a walk in the park every time. You've done it so many times, but every time there's a chance that you're going to get your body broken in half. So what's that experience like?
Oh, it's amazing, man. I kind of live for moments like that because we as professional wrestlers are manifesting, all the time. And it was just a idea that I kind of manifested within myself that I thought was extremely possible in a ladder match, and it would just be a new vibe to a ladder match here in 2025. And that's kind of what I live for, man. I dream these things up in my head, and I bring them to life within the pro wrestling universe.
And you are definitely from another planet and a different universe, Jeff. You have changed. This is the thing that gets me. You guys changed the game. You and your brother started out as the terminology in the wrestling world would be, your jobbers. Let's not be. You guys are there. You guys are the enhancement talent. You guys go out there, you have your matches. Some of the greats in our business. I mean, you fought, there are legendary videos that you can watch of you fighting Scott Hall and countless other names that were in the business. Huge names that you were in the ring with. And then you go through this metamorphosis. You and your brother go through this metamorphosis and become, in the WWE at the time, you were the New Brood. Before you're the Hardys, you're the New Brood. And your style, the look, the whole everything, the package from top to bottom. There are people today that still emulate you with the makeup and the clothes and the hair and the freaking dancing and everything else. Do you understand that you changed the game that the Hardys changed the game? Do you get that? And what does that feel like? Like having that world?
Do. Yeah, I do. And I'm very proud of it, man. It was like this movement that kind of took place and then in the Attitude Era was just such a special time in wrestling all in general. But whenever we became the Brood, that was when I first started buying women's trouser socks and cutting slits in them and putting them on my arms. And I got that idea as an alter ego of mine called Willow. Would do that, but I just made them neater as Jeff Hardy. I started painting my nails, and I really kind of got into my own kind of self and expressed myself through professional wrestling back then. And it's so cool to look back at it now and to know that we've influenced and inspired so many wrestlers that are just killing it today.
Well, that's the thing. You have inspired at least multiple generations. You and your brother have inspired a whole bunch of people. When I went to Slammiversary, hell, when I went to SummerSlam, I've been at both shows. There was nothing but Jeff Hardy wannabes in the crowd. Every person, if you looked at and threw a rock, you would hit somebody that was dressed like you with the tank top and the freaking big pants and the ladies' things that you cut open and you wore as gloves and all that stuff, the painted everything. So when you were doing all this, did you fall in love with it, or did you, was it something that you just did? Because it seems like it's an extension of you. You're an artist. I have your shirts that TNA used to sell with the paintings on them, and they were awesome. I have those shirts because you are a guy that expresses himself in the way of art and color and vibrance and all these things. Did you fall in love with all of that, or were a lot of that just an extension of who you are?
Yeah, I did fall in love with it. I think my main message was back then is just don't fear, being yourself, because I was, even with, it was in 2012 when I really took the face paint to a different level when I started painting eyes on my eyelids. And that's when I kind of realized, oh man, this is me. This is what I do. Steve Austin had his beards and his middle fingers, but this is what I do. I am the charismatic enigma, and I paint. And every time I go out there to wrestle, the face painting is never the same. It's always different and abstract, and it's me. But the main message I spread back then was just don't be afraid to be yourself and express yourself in whatever way you feel. And looks don't really matter. Don't judge a book by the cover was the main message I was getting out of there. And I sure did, man. I made a hell of a connection with all the pro wrestling universe.
Well, that's the thing. That connection, that history, all that stuff is coming back as well, because October 12th, TNA's Bound for Glory, the big showcase event of Total Nonstop Action, one of the main events, because I don't care if they call it a main event, I'm calling it a main event. One of the main events of the night is the Hardys versus Team 3D. Now, I'm going to ask you, is this going to be a tables match, or is this going to be just the two of the best tag teams smashing up against each other?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I've heard a rumor that it may be a tables match. But, man, after Slammiversary, when I was on Cloud 9 from becoming the tag champions again and just being up there on that cable ladder and juking around to the audience, we had no idea that Bully Ray was going to come out there and make that challenge. We had no idea, and he was in and out. He came out there, made the challenge, and he left, and we didn't see him at all. So it was very surreal and very unexpected, but it's like the way I look forward to that, the ladder match at Slammiversary. I'm looking forward to this match with the Dudleys now. So it's the next big spot, I'm pushing and training to get to, and I've manifested it. Now we just got to execute it and conquer it, and then we can move on to whatever's next. But it's going to be extremely intense and emotional, I guarantee you.
Oh, I guarantee it. I'm going to definitely be there to watch it. Let me tell you right now, Bully Ray probably ran out because he has to host 9 million other shows at Sirius XM, not just Busted Open. I'm probably there's Busted Open After Dark, Busted Open in the Basement, Busted Open in the Kitchen. There's 9 million shows on Pro Wrestling Nation that Bully Ray is going to be handling. So he had to skedaddle after he made the kind of the want and the desire and the thing. He bolted out the door to go do his real job, which is now broadcast, being a DJ and everything, and being on the air and being a host of a show. Now that's the thing. You guys, this is my question now. That's why when I saw it live, when Bully Ray comes out, a fellow Sirius XM employee comes out, and don't get me wrong, one of the toughest sons of bitches in the business. I'm not trying to belittle him in any way. Uncle Eddie to Uncle Bully, I'm not trying to do that. But the thing is, yes, he's been wrestling on the independents, but not to the level that you guys have been wrestling. The Hardys are a well-oiled machine. You are now I forgot how many time tag team world, before Ross punches me in the throat, world tag team champions. You've won the titles multiple times. You've done everything in this business that you could possibly do. Don't you think you have a little bit of an edge over Team 3D? One half of which hasn't wrestled in I don't know how long. The other half now does, broadcasting like me, sits behind a microphone and talks for a living. Don't you have a little bit of an edge?
For sure, we do got a little bit of an advantage. We've been pretty active the last couple of years, but yeah, after Slammiversary, Bubba probably had to go judge some pro wrestlers on LFG as well. He's involved in so much stuff. There's no telling, but yeah, I think we got an advantage, man, because we are well oiled and we're still living for each and every moment, and the die Hardy fans are with us 100% all the way. These meet and greets we do after TNA wrestling shows are just amazing, man. So many people are calm and patient, and they wait so long just to get a picture and an autograph, and we give that back to them as well.
Speaking of which, we're talking to Jeff Hardy. Impact Wrestling will be live, Minneapolis Armory, on the 4th of September. The 5th is going to be a taping. Get your tickets now, Ticketmaster.com. Go to TNAWrestling.com for further information on that. If you need to maybe catch up, maybe go buy a new Hardy's T-shirt. They got a whole bunch of stuff because they are, of course, the World Tag Team Champions. You're welcome, Ross. The World Tag Team Champions. Now, I have to ask this question because as a fan, I've seen you through everything you've been through, sports, entertainment-related, wrestling-related. Not your personal life. I'm not going to get into that. I want to talk about the guy, Jeff Hardy, who has fallen from literally the heavens through tables. You have gone off ladders, chairs, tables. It does not matter. Full Metal Mayhem, as they do in TNA. You have done it all to your body. Can you tell me how many times you think you've broken bones? Can you honestly give me a number on that?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, man. I've mainly I broke my collarbone once.
Okay.
And then my main bone break was my tibia. I broke my right tibia and both of those injuries were in motocross. So they were in my favorite sport, not my profession.
Yeah.
So the only thing I've ever that's been broken in pro wrestling is when I was still in an AEW and Sammy Guevara landed on my face and broke my nose.
God.
So I've been lucky, man. I've been very lucky.
Lucky is not even a word for it, Jeff. You are one of the most death-defying athletes in the history of pro wrestling. Everybody watches your match. You, maybe Mick Foley might be the only other guy to go, I can do that. Yeah, I've done that before. I've done that. You have done everything. You have thrown yourself off of or have been thrown off of items. Too many to question, too many to answer, too many to throw out there. It's just remarkable that you didn't even break anything. You did that in motocross. That had nothing to do within the ring. I mean, you've bled. You've definitely hurt. I mean, I've seen you in matches limp out, and then the next day you're back on the freaking thing, dude. You're back on the thing. What does it take to get through that? I mean, is there a time span now? You're getting a little older. Is there a time span between matches? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been beaten up over the years, but overall, man, I've been very lucky. I didn't start having surgeries until after I was 40, man. And so after I turned 40,
dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is. I ended up popping my shoulder, and I had to get rotator cuff surgery. And then when I broke my tibia on my dirt bike, I messed up my knee, my PCL in my right knee as well, and I had to eventually get that fixed after my rotator cuff surgery. So I'd have my knee fixed, and it'll never be the same. I'll never jump like I used to.
No.
But yeah, overall, I just knock on wood, metal. whatever. I've been very fortunate as far as injuries.
Yes, he will never be world famous tap dancer Jeff Hardy anymore. He will only be the best, one half of the best wrestling tag team in the business today. It is crazy to think of you doing everything that you do. The question I do also have, because the wrestling fan inside of me, the kid that still watches this, I'm 40-something years old. I watch it still like I'm watching it, noon on a Saturday morning with a bowl of cereal in my lap. I gotta ask you, where did you come up with the Swanton? Because it's one of the only wrestling moves I can actually, even as a fat guy, perform. But you do it with such a je ne sais quoi that no one else can do. You have a look. Other people have tried in the business to do the moves that you do. And the Swanton is something that they get kind of close, but they never get the exact aerial attitude, if I can use that as a terminology, that you get when you hit your finisher in the ring. Where did you come up with it? Because even Leon Slater doing the 450 crazy 450 Swanton, which is insane, is which is it defies gravity. I don't even know how that kid even works. He might float in the background. It totally
defies gravity.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And you described that very beautifully, man. Well, I knew it as senton is what the front flip was, as senton. And this guy named the Great Sasuke, I think from Japan. I watched Jushin Thunder Liger was a big influence on me as well. But he would do the dive over the top rope with that and arch his back and all that. And I just said, oh man, what if I just did that in the ring to somebody laying down? And then the more I watched myself do it, I've always been a good as far as words, like combining, like making different words, but I just put that swan instead of sin, and Swanton just felt so right. And I always remember like asking Jim Ross to call it that, and on commentary, and he sure did. And it became what it is now, and the Swanton Bomb is my finisher, man, and I'm so proud of that.
It harkens back to how much you guys changed the game. That is the thing I can't get over. You went from jobbers and curtain jerkers to being literally one of the, if not greatest tag teams of all time. I mean, you're up there. When people do the conversations and they talk about the greatest tag teams, LOD, sure, the Road Warriors come up in the conversation. Let's see what other tag teams we can even throw in here. Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express, but the Hardys are definitely up there. And then you also have the Hardys, Edge and Christian, Team 3D, the Dudley Boys, whatever you want to call them. Hopefully, by Bound for Glory, we know what we're going to call them. But at that, it's like you're definitely in the conversation. It's weird, though, how great of a transition. I don't think there's ever been a more mediocre rise into that. Like it went from you were a jobber for so long, and then you were a world champion, multiple-time world champion now. Like for yourself, not only just with your brother, world champion. You guys have lived the wrestling dream, and it's weird because you were kids. You were kids that had the wrestling dream, and you followed your dream, and sir, not just to blow smoke up your ass, literally, we should be applauding you and your brother for being two guys that went from nothing to being on the Mount Rushmore of tag teams. It's crazy.
Oh, thank you very much. And speaking of, you also said that very well. Speaking of Leon Slater, he does defy gravity, man. When I witnessed that in person for the first time, I was like, how is that even possible for a human being to do that? And he does it with such grace, and he's a huge bright star of the future, man. And we get along with him so good, and I've learned from him, and he's learned from us over the years. So yeah, I'm just very blessed. We're blessed as the Hardys to still be as active as we are. And I've been calling this last run, not just the last run, but I've been calling it the inmost extreme run of the Hardys. And when you talk about what Broken Matt did back in the day, as far as when he came up with that Expedition of Gold, and we ended up, going through all that to end up winning the World Tag Team titles at WrestleMania. That was just so mind-blowing. So, yeah, there's a lot of good, exciting stuff for the Hardys in the near future with TNA. TNA Wrestling is where it's at, man.
Oh, I love TNA. Ask Ross who's sitting there right now probably staring at you. I love that company because that company, much like the Hardys, went from nothing, went from shows on pay-per-view on a Wednesday night every Wednesday, which, yet again, not blowing smoke, not kissing anyone's ass. That is truth. That is gospel that I am speaking right now, because it is. Everybody in this business has tried to shut you guys down. You have a pay-per-view named Hard to Kill for that exact reason, because they couldn't kill this company if they tried. You had a crazy lady named Dixie Carter that was running it at one point. What did Bully Ray do? Put her through a table. You know what I mean? It ended that world. You had Hulk Hogan, God rest his soul, come in that company, try to change things. That almost killed the company. Boom, boom, boom. Magically, guess what? The company's bulletproof. Not dead yet. Still going on. Still going strong. And that's why that's why we even have a Leon Slater in the company, the youngest X Division champion ever in the history of the business. And let me point out, I call him Lord Lightspeed because he's British, so I call him Lord Lightspeed because his moves are light speed and light years beyond anyone else in that ring. He does stuff that I think even the young Jeff Hardy would have been like, that's crazy. I'm not even going to try to do that. That's freaking nuts.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah, you are so right.
Yeah, and that's...
He is...
Good. After you.
He is the first Leon Slater, man. Like, when you think about, like, the next Jeff Hardy, and he is the first incredible Leon Slater. Yeah. But, man, another cool thing about TNA, and guys like Leon Slater were, leading the TNA wrestling into the future. But it's just, I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be with Matt. The way everything worked out when I was in AEW and I had that broken nose I mentioned earlier, it just worked out. Timing worked out just perfect for me to show up and save Matt a little over a year ago, and it's very nice to feel valuable, like we have an opportunity to shine here in TNA wrestling, and that's felt great the last year, and the future it's so exciting to experience what's going to happen next.
Well, if you want to get on the TNA love train, since I'm blowing smoke and kissing ass on the TNA because I love it so goddamn much, let me tell you, you need to be in Minneapolis at the Armory on the 4th of September and the 5th of September. You could do the live show. That will be Impact Live on, and everything. When they do a live Impact, let me tell you, that's the night you want to be there, because that means somebody's showing up. That means some things are happening. That means titles are going to be on the line. It's going to be a big thing. Then the tapings afterward are all the aftermath of all of that, so they're exciting as well. That's the thing about TNA. They don't put on a dull show. You're not going to sit there and go, oh, God, I can't believe they put this guy on. Jesus, I'm just going to read the newspaper. They don't do that. You sit there and you watch every match going, holy, and I can't say it too much, but holy, it rhymes with shit. Holy shit. And every match consecutively gets better and better, and then when you get even to the world title matches, especially since, which, by the way, right before we finish this, because I got to ask a TNA guy this. I thought of this today,
sure,
and I'm slightly effing annoyed. Why is it that two of the biggest titles in your company, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship and the TNA Knockouts title, are with people that don't even work at the company anymore? They don't work there. They should not be having them. Trick Williams should not be your world champion, and J.C. Jane should not be the Knockouts champion. They work for another company. So let's try. Who on the roster do you think, Jeff, can, besides yourself, I think you should go over there, kick Trick Williams' ass, take the title, and walk out with the world title. That would be great. Let's do that at the Armory. Let's make that happen. Who do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I kind of believe, I have a lot of belief in the king of TNA, Kazarian, man. I think he's kind of been around for a long time, but it is strange, man. These, being with the relationship with WWE and NXT, and how these belts are transitioning in the different dimensions. It is wild, man, but it's so exciting. But along with that, on my bucket list is to become the NXT champion. So we deserve a rematch, I think, because we did beat Fraxium in New York when we faced them. So there's a rematch that's lingering out there in the future somewhere for Matt and Jeff Hardy in NXT.
It is crazy because to think about that, you guys were intergalactic, interdimensional hoppers and showed up one night in NXT on a television station that's not suited for you guys. It's just a different company. It's a different person's channel. And magically the Hardys show up who haven't wrestled on WWE soil in I don't know how long, and they steal the show against Fraxium, and boom, we don't have, you guys deserve tag team shots. I think there should be a front line back in TNA that take over everybody. Let's invade NXT one night and just throw hands with everybody. Like, even the people selling popcorn I don't give a crap. You beat the crap out of everybody, and then everybody gets swantons, because we got to show Jeff off. Everybody gets swantons, the beatings happen, and we get NXT knowing that TNA are the badasses that they need to be. You have to hold on. We have a question from one of our microphones. Hold on for a second. The one and only,
all right,
Johnny Vegas. We have Jeff Hardy on the phone. Johnny, you gotta make it quick though, because we're almost done. Please.
It's not a question.
He's got stuff to do.
I want to give him flowers. I was at the Hog event about a couple months back, and all I gotta ask is, where did you came out just singing Shy, and will we see that encore again later on? That's been bugging me since that event.
Oh yeah, man. I'm sure I love singing that song, man, and I'm sure that we'll hear that many times. I'm sure my music will be a bigger portion of what I do in TNA as well. Also with my alter ego Willow, I'm sure he's going to reemerge at some point. But I'm looking forward to actually performing my first ever TNA theme song, which is called Modest, and we got a new version of that, man. But actually perform it on the way to the ring, that's kind of on my bucket list as well. I want to do that. But yeah, I will always be singing that Shy song, man. I love that jam.
All right, one more question, just because as soon as we said Jeff Hardy was going to be on the show, you can use that mic if you want. They came out of the woodwork. Marcus, who's normally on the phone, Marcus ran into the studio to ask Jeff Hardy a question. Marcus asked the great Jeff Hardy a question, but remember, keep it quick. He's got shit to do.
Gotcha. I'm going to make this quick, if you'll allow me to be a fangirl for at least 20 seconds here.
Yeah.
First of all, I've followed your career since I was a child. I want to say thank you for inspiring me to be the person that I am today. The one last thing I'm going to say, one of my favorite moments of your career, and it's probably not your usual one, the first Impact after Bound for Glory 10-10-10, when you came out as world champion, and you came out looking like a straight mob boss, and I fangirled so hard. It was my favorite moment of your career. I hope I get to see that again before you wrap it up. Again, Jeff, thank you for everything that you do, sir.
Yes, my pleasure, man. And I totally feel like a similar thing, like the Antichrist Pro Wrestling, will reemerge as well. But this time, I'm feeling like it's more of an enlightened Jeff Hardy type of character.
All right. On that note, because if I don't wrap up now, Ross is going to kill me, and I really don't want to make the VP of the company mad, because one day I wish to work there. So let me tell you right now, we are talking to the great, the wonderful, the magnificent, the intergalactic, interplanetary half of the tag team champions of the world in TNA, the one and only Jeff Hardy. Impact Live on September 4th in Minneapolis at the Armory, and the 5th will be the taping. Jeff Hardy, thank you for being on the program. We all love you. Round of applause for Jeff Hardy. Please, round of applause.
Thank y'all. I love y'all as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Goodbye, Jeff. And we love Ross, too.
Goodbye.
Tell him not to be too mad. All right.
Yes, Ross the boss.
Ross the boss.